What is the speed in miles per hour for the following situation? Miles per hour means we want the miles in 1 hour. So miles per hour, we do miles over the hours. So 6 miles in 1/8 hour. 6 divided by 1/8 is 48. So it is 48 miles per hour. Verdi used a sensor to measure the speed of the moving car at different times. Based on the results, which statement describes the relationship between m, the speed of the car in miles per hour, and k, the speed of the car in kilometers per hour? If we do 17.699 divided by 11, that gives us 1.609. 41.834 divided by 26 is 1.609. 54.706 divided by 34 is 1.609. All of the ratios are the same, so the relationship is proportional. So the answer is A. The graph shows the total distance traveled by a tow car over time. Which statement best describes the meaning of the coordinate point F? So point F is at the point 1, 5.25. So that means it is 1 hour in 5.25 miles. So it shows the unit rate in hours per mile. Hours per mile would be hours in 1 mile, but we have it in 1 hour, so that's not right. Unit rate in miles per hour is the miles in 1 hour, so that is correct. The equation y equals 5.5x represents a proportional relationship. What is the constant of proportionality? Since it's y equals kx, constant proportionality is just 5.5. 6 cell phones weigh 46.2 ounces, 14 weigh 107.8 ounces. Does this represent a proportional relationship? Explain. So the cell phones is our x, and the weight is the y, because the weight depends on the cell phones. So 46.2 divided by 6 is 7.7. 107.8 divided by 14 is 7.7. So yes, it is proportional because the ratios are the same. The constant proportionality, or K, is 7.7. Family drove 4.5 miles in 1/10 of an hour. What is their speed in miles per hour? Miles per hour means you want the miles over the hours. So it's 4.5 divided by 1/10, which is equal to 45. So it is 45 miles per hour. Nick is making bread dough. The recipe calls for 3/4 of a cup for 1 1/8 teaspoons of salt. Nick wants to make the recipe using 1 cup of flour. How much salt is required when 1 cup of flour is used? So we're looking for the salt per 1 cup of flour. So that means we could do the salt over the flour. So it's 1 1/8 divided by 3/4. 1 1/8 divided by 3/4 is 1.5. So it is 1.5 teaspoons of salt. The graph represents the cost of renting a generator from a hardware store. What does the 0.00 mean in the problem situation? It means 0 hours, cost $0. Choose one ordered pair and explain what it means in the problem situation. I'm going to pick this point here, which is 2, 50. So that means 2 hours, cost $50. And the constant of proportionality, since I know it's proportional, because it goes through the origin in a straight line, I can pick any ordered pair and do y divided by x. 50 divided by 2 is 25. So my constant proportionality is 25. Kenny bought a 50-pound bag of chicken for $29.98. What's the price of a 40-pound bag? So we could set up a proportion. 29.98 for 50 equals x over 40. Cross multiply. 50x is equal to 29.98 times 40. It's 1,199.2. Divide both sides by 50. X equals 23.984. So we can make that money and round it to 23.98. Each year the students in 7th grade go to environmental camp. This year the total cost is $1,580 for 79 students. How much did it cost for each student to attend the camp? So we could do $1,580 divided by 79, and that equals to 20. So it is $20 per student. We want to write an equation to represent the cost for X number of students. So since I did the cost divided by the number of students, that's my constant proportionality. So my equation just be y equals 20x. The graph shows the relationship between the amount of time in hours and the distance traveled by a probe before it reaches Mars. Does the graph represent a proportional relationship? Yes, because it is a straight line through the origin. Determine the number of miles the probe travels in 5.5 hours. Different ways we could do this, but I'm going to set up a proportion again. 24,000 for 2 hours equals x over 5.5 hours. Cross multiply. 2x equals 24,000 times 5.5 is 132,000. I divide both sides by 2. X equals 66,000. So it is 66,000 miles. Complete the table. So I see to go from 4 to 12, we multiply by 3. So I'm going to do 1/4 times 3 as well. And that gives me 3/4. To get to 16, I can start back at the 4. 4 to 16 is multiplied by 4. 1/4 times 4 is 1. And now to determine for 5/4, if I was unsure what to do, I could go with this one. And I can divide. 5/4 divided by 1 is 5/4. So that means to go this way, I'm multiplying by 5/4. So I could do 16 times 5/4. And 16 times 5/4 is 20.